Hello and a very warm welcome from Silkeborg, the host city for the 2019 LGT Women's World Curling Championships. Silkeborg, well known for its outdoor sporting activities, kayaking, hiking, cycling and running, but today we are in the Silkeborg Sports Centre, bringing you coverage of our feature matchup from Draw 6 of the World Women's Curling Championship, and the matchup is between Japan and Russia. I am Kenny Edwards and I'm joined once again by the vastly experienced Luke Coley for this matchup, which we expect to be very entertaining. So let's meet the teams. Asumi Ishiguka at lead, Sienna Nakajima at second, Chiaka Matsumura at third, and Yuki Kitazawa at skip. Team Russia, Ekaterina Guzmina at lead, Galina Arsenkina at second, Anastasia Bryzgalova at third, and skip player, Alina Kovaleva. Here are the standings. It's China, Korea and Sweden all sitting there on 3 wins. Canada, Germany, Japan and Russia all with 2 wins. Our future game between Japan and Russia. Scotland, Switzerland, the USA with a single win. Denmark, Finland and Latvia yet to get off the mark. Other games in session 6, China take on Latvia. There is our feature game on sheet B. On sheet C, Finland, yet to get a win, take on United States of America. So teams just preparing to take the ice. Look, who are the favourites coming into this?
There's a lot to both these teams coming in. Japan, not really a lot to lose. Both teams, it's their first World Championship as units, but Japan coming in, a lot of talk about the Fujisawa team and their run at the Olympics. So Japan now a noticed curling team. When you come in, you look, it's like, oh, it's not that free win that years ago it used to be. Well, they're not as strong. They've really developed and having some depth. So another team coming from Japan playing well. Whereas you look at Russia, they keep churning out the team after team. They won bronze medal last year with Moiseva. Galina Arsenkina was a part of that team, playing very well. 2-1, you're trying to position yourself. Pivotal matchup early in the week to try and position yourself getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, so teams just about ready to go. This young Japanese side, they're just happy out there. They don't seem to worry if they're a couple of shots down in the game. They know they're going to get some chances. So it's really good to see out there, isn't it, Luke?
Yeah, they're fearless. It's go out there, doesn't really matter. You know what? Let's play that run back. Let's play this double. Oh, we give up a steal? Don't matter. We'll go give ourselves a chance. We'll get our guards in play. And Russia just solid throughout. They've played fairly well. They lost a tough one yesterday to Korea and looking to bounce back, as did Japan. So they both started well, coming off a loss. See how they get the game started. Last stone draw numbers, clear advantage for Russia winning last stone in this first end.
Yeah, it will be Russia playing the yellow stones, Japan the red. And Japan missing the house with one of their draw the shots for last stone advantage. So that really puts pay to them having that hammer in the first end.
And like you said, Kenny, it doesn't really matter if they did miss the house or if they hit the button. You're getting the same reaction. There's lots of smiles. They love being out on the ice, and that's something that's fun to see.
Azumi Ishiguka, 22-year-old office worker.
Russia definitely the more experienced of the teams. Kovaleva playing in World Cup leg this year. A lot of events on the World Curling Tour. Won a couple events early this season.
Yeah, Kovaleva been at a few European championships, as well as Women's Worlds as an alternate in the past. So.
Yeah, and you do pick up a fair amount of experience sitting on the bench and watching and seeing what happens behind Moiseva and Sidorova. She beat Sidorova in the Russia qualifier. And Katerina Kuzmina at lead position just came off of a bronze at the World University Games.
So tactically, how do you expect both teams to go about it? Do you feel they're both quite aggressive or both defensive?
Russia might be a little bit more defensive than the Japanese team. Japan, they like to play lots of rocks and play the run backs. They set things up. See that starting off with the center line guard. I think we'll look for an exciting game. There should be lots of quality shots made.
So there are the rules of play. 6 ends minimum, 38 minutes thinking time, and 1 60-second timeout in the round robin stages. So the sport of curling has changed over the last few seasons, hasn't it, Luke?
It's definitely evolved. You look even a few years, the Olympic Winter Games last year, 4-rock rule. Now we've gone to the 5-rock free guard zone rule. And all about trying to create offense, trying to generate more scoring. Start with the center line guard. A lot of teams like to be conservative in the first end, just to sort of did have the practice session, but get their feet under the ice under them a little bit and just get that feel.
Galina Arsenkina. Quite a lot of experience on the international stage. That's only our second World Championship though. Bronze last year.
Russia's been having success the last few years at the World Championship. Numerous medals for the Russian Curling Federation.
Do you feel that is because they have 3 or 4 really good teams competing with each other back home rather than just maybe 1 or 2?
Competition will always develop more players. You'll always get stronger when you got to play tougher teams and you're always being pushed. You're not just given that spot year in, year out. Or sometimes that may be the case. You got teams trying to challenge you, you're going to try and up your game. That's clearly the case with this Russian team. Kovaleva has put on a good performance so far this curling season and into this World Championship.
Well, maybe the chance that Japan were looking for to get a steal going in this end. Centre guard, and they have a chance to get around it first. Chiaki Matsumura. Also an office worker back home in Japan. And that one's going to pull up short. Do you possibly think that The Russians being full-time athletes, competing against people that have day jobs, essentially, can make a difference at a long tournament like this World Championships.
Obviously, with the physical aspect, you got to play 12-game round robin. It's going to help. They're used to being out there every day and working as a curler. That's their job work. Obviously, if you're sitting as an office worker, it's tougher on your body than to go and be the physical activity through 12 curling matches. But you're training for this. The Japanese side are gonna work towards this as well. Probably a longer event than they've ever played, so I think later in the week there'll be a team to watch to see how they're feeling physically, if they're getting a little bit drained, and that. Other thing is mentally too. It's a long week calling a game in that chess match on ice that curling is for 12 separate games.
Yeah, very interesting call from Japan here, hitting one in the back 12.
Well, won't get by. It's kind of great news that Kenny had thought they had a great chance to use those guards. Here, golden chance to get in behind those guards and lie two. Rizkalova, 76% among at the third position. Trying to pick up her game a little bit.
Yeah, 15.4 was seen around 14.1, 14.2 is the T weight, so fully expected that one to be a little short. So now they're thinking about coming around the guard. Well, no, again, they're just going to hit something back 12.
And it's not a question of knowing what draw weight is. They've had their full practice before the game, so you have a good feel. This is a very similar path they would have thrown a lot in practice to get to the button.
Kitazawa for Japan. Doesn't hold the broom, which is a little bit unconventional team lineup, isn't it, Luke?
Yeah, it definitely changes the dynamic, and for some teams it works better. Sometimes the players, you see the nice roll. Players just can focus on throwing those last two shots, and they're better than thinking through the strategy. Obviously, the conventional way is the player skipping, calling the game, throws those last two stones. The dynamic in the house is always interesting because of how they communicate. Does the fourth stone thrower actually come in, set the broom down, and then slide down the ice as a traditional skip would to just go through that regular routine? It's seen sometimes where you're throwing those four stones, they don't even come down to the other end. They're basically letting the skip call it and go throw the shot.
That one crashes into the guard.
Russia was trying to take the chance to set up a score with their own team, with the hammer, score two with the skip stones. Two choices. You draw in behind. You can hit roll off the top one. Looks like the straight draw is the call for Kitazawa. Both these skips at 75% for the tournament so far. Pretty good numbers. They'll be faced with some difficult shots.
Well, they're going hard on the sweep with this one. Have they hit the port? They need to sit two, I believe, Luke. Well, they haven't, but they've blocked the hole. And it's going to be very difficult for Russia to at least score two. Simple tap to score the single point. But that was a great chance for Japan to apply some pressure, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very risk-free because of you get in behind, you can really put it in a good spot to steal. Coming up well short. Not playing the tap to the back one, just want to put this in the 8-foot to get the one. Later in a game, you might see a team go after it, but early on, just play it a little conservative and make your shot. Try and get your single point.
Yeah, that's the final stone of the first end. Alina Kovaleva just looking for a piece of the 8-foot, and this one looks as if it's got enough weight, Luke.
Sweep, 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 sweep.
Well, have they got lucky, Luke?
Did they get that roll in for two?
I think they have. Well,
Sorry.
it's definitely one.
Yeah, it's between the one at about 2:30 and the one at 6 o'clock to determine who is second shot.
Brezgalova called that. That is some call. Well, it's certainly a one, and it's going to be a measure. That's a great call by the third player. Very switched on, called it early to try and get two.
Yeah, and you heard the sweepers calling the weight and obviously trying to relay that information to their player in the house calling line. They knew in the back of their mind that that was an option. Depending on it, the tap was what they had indicated as the call.
Yeah, so really from nothing, Russia have a chance of possibly picking up two.
And again, this all was left because of the draw by Kitazawa came up short. Didn't get to the house. It's in the house. That shot is not even a possibility. They got to try and play a tap just to get a single point for Russia. So there's a look there as kids are filing in here to the Sports Center to watch the World Curling Championship. I remember myself being able to go watch a Canadian Championship coming in as a school kid. It was not only an afternoon or morning off of school, but you got to watch curling.
Well, let's see.
You thought it was yellow right away, didn't you?
I think this is yellow.
Just to be different, I'll go red.
Yeah, okay. With two in the dial, oh, it's quite clearly the yellow.
Yeah. So the split, great shot.
Yeah, they make two. Japan have got to feel hard done by with that one. So after the first end, it's Japan 0, Russia 2.
Какой везла,
Какой?
наверное.
Да, давай с сыном, наверное.
So we are back with the action into N2 of this matchup between Japan and Russia. Russia picking up a sensational 2 from nothing, really, Luke.
And just communication important, even on shots where you think, oh, more weight than we needed on that one. You spotted it right away, Kenny. Brizgalova says, well, let's go for the split. Let's chip it in. And they play the split, get a 2 out of it. And that's tough. Some teams it may really affect them. Japan, nothing seems to really phase them too much. They're out there just going to have some fun. Still serious, but they're always very, very bubbly and very happy just to be playing at this stage.
Yeah, I really do come across as having a carefree attitude out there.
I thought this Russian team would be one to watch getting into the playoffs. As a team could contend here at this World Championship. Talked about they have the experience. Arsen Kina playing last year at the World Championship, winning a bronze. All those things, along with some success in the World Curling Tour this season, that, you know, they might be able to string it together, play week. You're going to have your ups and downs. They lost yesterday. Try to bounce back now.
So let's take a look at the action from Sheet C. And the matchup between Finland and the United States.
Yeah, Finland looking for their first win, Una Kausta. One of those teams to qualify out of the World Qualifying event. Comes in trying to get a first win. Sometimes you get that first win, you can really roll with it. And facing multiple counters, needs to draw a good chunk of the 12-foot or better, and you get a single point. No problem there to get on the board first, so 1-0 Finland leading USA over on Sheet C.
Quite a lot of rotation on this stone from Galina Arsenkina. Just didn't curl up.
And with that extra rotation, it won't curl quite as much.
Yeah, as you were saying before, look, kids in just to watch the action.
Flags of different respective countries. Class says you're going to go cheer for Team Japan today. I'm sure they appreciate all the support of the fans coming out to attend these games.
And Japan on this one early. This one looks as if it's cutting, look.
Yeah, similar spot that Russia just threw, but less rotation. And look at that, rolls right off to the corner guard.
Yeah, really nice shot. And that's where Japan want to play. They want it out wide, away from the center, isn't that right?
Yeah, if you can, with last stone advantage, if you get play behind the corner guards, keep the 4-foot clear. Try and play to the wing, and then have your last shot. You draw to the 4-foot and for the extra point.
Igor Minin. I think we'll be happy with the way his Russian girls are performing.
Yeah, and there's always room to grow. You're never quite satisfied with how you're playing.
Suzuki Morizumi.
Familiar face.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been at a few World Championships, Pacific Games. So I'm sure he's passing all his knowledge and experience to this young Japanese side.
Yeah, 6 World Championships for him. Finished 4th in 2016. Played in the Olympics as well. Seeing that more and more, you're seeing players from the men's side, even active players, coming in trying to help some of the younger teams. Gets through the hole.
Well, what happened there?
The lights, was it a hog line violation maybe? Or did they burn it?
They possibly burnt it.
Yeah, it looks like a burn because just they...
Okay.
That's one of the things about curling. People they're honest. You know, they make a mistake, they touch a stone with their broom, they remove it themselves. It's pretty self-governing, isn't it?
Absolutely, and they moved it right away. They made the hit, pushed it off to the side, and said, you know what, we made contact with it. It's a tough penalty because the stone comes right out.
And it is being punished. Look, this one is right into the 8 foot, isn't it?
Still a chance to make that hit and roll. They played on the one that was a burnt stone.
So it was released before the hog line. And is it gonna... Oh, she hit it with her foot.
Yeah, she was trying to avoid the guard, I think.
Yep. They make it that time, but they make the roll. Is it going to hang around? It's not. And Russia with one tucked in behind that center guard.
Просто если мы сейчас завезем, и она нам закинет, то
Нам вот сюда нельзя, иначе это фриз. Иди сюда.
Anastasia just making her way up the ice. Just have a bit chat about this one. What do you think the discussion will be about on this call? Look.
Well, so you don't want to freeze and set up a double coming around that guard. You don't want to go deep and allow a freeze. Talked about the Japanese team, lots of smiles and laughter. You're seeing not the last few games from this Russian team too. Very loose out there, very relaxed. Have a good time. Obviously, it's always easier to smile and have laughs when things are going your way.
So it looks like they're going to try and draw around top of the 4 foot in behind these two yellows. That one over curled, a little bit short for weight and gets in behind.
The worry was that if you bunch them together, that makes a double an easier possibility. Now it's that short run back. Could go around everything, but you don't make that, you're going to have a tough chance of scoring.
Have they made the run back? This one looks a little tight for line. 1, 2 of them away. and opens up the shot in the 8-foot. So, good result.
Yeah. Wanting to make sure that you get rid of at least one of those and they open it up, but it still leaves that center line guard in play.
Ну, у нее такой же дабл остается.
Нравится Зисти.
Ну да, мне нравится прям совсем всегда такой глубокий. Но если так,
Take a look at China and Latvia. Latvia gave Canada a hard battle last night. Canada coming up on top. Looks like China lying 1. Does it look like there's a shot for 2 there, Kenny?
Possibly they're trying to come around this corner guard and play the tap. Must be pretty close. Can they take it across the top of the yellow? I think they have.
Look at
What
that.
a shot.
Fantastic shot to score 2.
So Latvia leading that one 2-0 after 2 ends. What a great shot by the skip. We see it again. Just catches Cornerstone. The weight is perfect on this shot. Over the top of the yellow and holds the shooter in the 8-foot.
Идет пошире, может сесть. Внимательно.
All the other teams out on the ice sort of looking over to see what's going on in that one. As they know, China sits atop the standings with that 3-0 record. Gets around that guard, but not quite as deep as they were wanting. From that, any draw, that stone in the top of the 8-foot is in such a good spot for Russia to use.
What can Kirizawa do? Can she make the hit and roll?
I want to try and roll underneath of that Yellowstone, but actually maybe even overroll it a little bit. But they'll go the opposite way. Weren't getting the curl they wanted, so they try and change to roll the opposite direction.
Стей. Можно чуть-чуть сюда, чтобы у нее не осталось легкого.
чуть-чуть побольше.
So let's take a look at Russia's last stone in the first end.
Sweep, 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 sweep.
Pleskova just catching the top one. What a call by the third player.
Yeah, that late call to have the right angle to catch it and spin them in. Just a very alert call, knowing to try and make something of that shot. If it doesn't catch that one, they may not get any, and it might be a steal.
Не ждем вообще до конца.
Sweep, sweep. Да-да-да, небольшой. Okay.
And Russia make the takeout. Japan really being forced to draw for their single point. Don't think there's a takeout there.
No, and Kovaleva was hoping to nose it so that it have to force a wide draw path. Here, still forcing the draw. It is to the 8-foot.
Yeah, Russia setting 2.
Get a look at the speed hog to hog. We've said about 14 and a half seconds, probably right to the T line is what's needed.
14.8 should be good enough. Super's keeping this one clean. Right down into the 8 foot, and a score of 1 for Japan. And after 2 ends, it's Japan 1, Russia 2. Russia with last stone advantage as they go into the third.
2点取られないように。そうだね。1点で収めたいね。こっちが曲がってなかったね。こっちがもう曲がってない。練習から曲がってなかった。で、こうスイッチある。ああ、投げた。遅くても早くても。こっち側のが。
Third end of this matchup between Japan and Russia. It's Russia with their noses in front, 2-1. Russia with last stone advantage in session 6. That'll be Japan playing red stones, Russia yellow, and Ken Edwards, and joined by Luke Coley here in Silkeborg in Denmark.
No doubt, trying to force the issue is Japan.
Yeah. Someone else trying to force the issue is Finland. They are 1 ahead of the United States. And Jamie Sinclair being forced out wide, facing 1, trying to thin in off at half weight.
Yeah, does not have many options with all those guards staggered. And it hasn't been the start to the week for Sinclair that she was hoping. And she just doesn't have enough weight, not even close there, and it's a steal of 1.
Yeah, so Finland looking for their first win. They're 2 ahead of the US.
Real nice come around Ishiguka. Right in behind that center line guard.
Going hard on the sweep for this one. Just catches the centre, rolls off. Do you have a corner guard now, Luke?
It's Something that can be used. Again, it's if you're going to miss it, you want to miss it with keeping a stone in play. Or heavy, you roll off, it's nothing you can use. Japan, though, have to like the way that they're set up early. Put the guard out in front. Sina Nakajima, who skips the team, but throws second stones.
最後はすみちゃんかな。あ、いや、回ってきてる。ちょっと待ってるよ。
I'll block the hole and ask the question at least.
Well, if a double peel's made, it opens up the front, and then all of a sudden it becomes a corner guard end. And Russia would love that.
Я уж хотела в эту сторону. Ладно, нормально. Мне кажется, он не довалил бы так.
もっと同じウェイトで大丈夫。
いいよ。
もう一回開くたるね。
Again, trying to get that second guard in position. Just protect their stone, top of the forefoot.
Yeah, don't want this too close to the house because it makes it easier to play the run.
ちょっと回りやすい。OK。
Я его не вижу. Если что, гард.
Still think you go up and play the double peel at this stage of the end.
Ладно, давай тогда пил пока. Мне кажется, надо слэшем делать. Пол камня.
По шапке.
Вот так бьем.
Just about play the double peel and spin that centre guard in behind the corner maybe. Lots of weight from Arsenkina. Next one, bounces the red back onto the centre.
That's a tough way of missing that one, rolling it to a center guard still.
Do you come around this again, Luke? Or?
You put another guard up there, it's going to be another double peel. It's going to be tough to avoid a double peel opportunity for Russia. You come in, you could even come, and if you're heavy, go to the back one, but ideally come right on top of your own. This looks like the guard though.
They need to go hard to get this one over, Luke. Have they got it over?
It's going to be a very long guard.
Gee, a little cute with that one,
Yeah.
were they not?
Just crosses that hog line to stay in play. But by being long, it does make the double peel a little bit more difficult.
Silkeborg looking for some action on these two reds. Pretty close to this. One just misses the other.
Well, Japan seems happy. We'll put another guard out in front. Force Russia to make one of these double peels. It's funny, this all comes back to a couple early misses in the end. Going deep with that one back forefoot and then wrecking on the guard.
This one's a little bit deeper. really nice guard. Lines them up.
Yeah, there's no real angle to make a play on that. You make the double peel, you're probably going to leave one of your stones around. Is there a hole, though, Kenny, with the outturn to try and get at shot stone?
Potentially there is, look.
Я не хочу вот так, иначе мы здесь еще больше зацементируем это все. Что? Либо вот так. Перевал. Не, давай с этой. Давайте с
Gotta watch you aren't narrow with this. Drive the center red guard, the one that's at the top of the screen, back onto the yellow and bounce it in behind the red.
Sweet.
Yeah, caught that one on the right side.
Oh, just the single peel, opening it up. Skip stones. It's awfully tempting to draw another one in.
I think the thinking, maybe not drawing another one in, is they would need to move that red to get another one in to sit second shot, to sit two. If they drew it the back one, they're just leaving a pocket for Russia to come and freeze. Trying to get this one to curl now. Well,
again, they left it just over the hog line.
Very late.
Are they worried about the hole that we had talked about previously, getting through the hole to get at shot stone?
Potentially, but now they've left the run on that tighter guard.
Much easier shot.
Нет. Нет, давай с аутом. Не давал немного. Да. Сильно? Да. Чуть перевал? Нет, не давал. Давай поменьше чуть-чуть.
So looking to run this one out. Avoid their stone in the back of the 4 foot in the process. Would be ideal, but get rid of it. They won't complain if they spill everything.
This one's setting a little high. Look. Now called it early to try and open things up.
Yeah, it's a real smart call in the house that, you know, okay, we're not making the run. Let's not get cute with this and just miss it by a millimeter. Let's clear the guard, open it up. Try and leave yourself something on your last shot.
So let's take a look at sheet A, China versus Latvia.
Looks like China is lying one. Wang Rei, chance to draw the 4 foot, get a second point. Unbeaten Chinese rank. And another team that, not newcomers to the world stage, but the position they're playing at the Worlds. Wang Rei throwing those final 2 stones. Hasn't done that at a Worlds before. And no problem there, so 2 right back, all square after 3 ends, China and Latvia. So Japan puts the guard up in our feature game here. And now Russia's got to go wide, need the button to get a single point.
Ну, мы так тэп делали. Ага. Там может подсесть, я думаю.
The misses early in the end on lead stones by Kuzmina. Russia just couldn't get themselves out of it. So good forefoot piece of the button is what Kovaleva needs to get.
Линия супер! Давай, 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 Катя, дотрешь. Давай, 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 дотрешь, отлично идет.
Have they done enough, Luke?
No.
No. Japan get the steal and level this matchup. Well, the score now 2-2 after 3 ends. Japan clawing their way back into this matchup.
Nice. 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 Nice.
Он еще и, да, больше полдорожки идет вдоль, да, только широкий, потом то.
Ладно, давайте на начало нормально, а то у нас как-то не особо потом разгребаем очень долго это все.
あ、どうするか。
7もある。私
あ、そっか。
73だから、元が73。
どうするか。まあ3、4。
曲がり方してる。そんな多分結構幅余裕あったんだけど、こんなね、なんか、結構ギリギリ取ったなと思って。どっちもどっちだ。こいつちょっと重い感じするから。同じ感じだと思う。ガードだよね。
Welcome back to the action in this 4th end. All square at 2-2. Matchup between Japan and Russia.
Japan was just ahead that whole end. They just couldn't catch up. Have Russia catch up. They had those stones in position and just couldn't cut into that stone in that forefoot. It was just in a great spot by Japan. Russia never made that double peel, didn't make the draw. And if you're Japan, you had to love the way that end played out.
Yeah, Japan just doing the basics well, didn't they?
It was very you don't want to say simple because a guard isn't a simple shot to place. You got to put it up there precisely, but they kept putting a couple just out in front, made them longer, separated them. Russia didn't make a double peel.
Well, both teams going for a guard this time, so expect to see a lot of rocks in play.
Japan will try and bring things to the center, Russia to the wings.
Azumi Ishizuka, that's 75%. This will help her numbers as it draws that one round in behind the red into the top of the 12-foot.
Not quite as deep as they wanted. You get that one, maybe biting the 4-foot is better, but they had to let go of it because it was coming out the other side of that guard.
Katerina Kuzmina, tournament accuracy of 81. Only playing 68% so far in this game though. So a little bit lower than we've seen from her through this tournament so far.
Well, those two will definitely help her numbers right in behind the corner guard. We talked about the type of game changing early on in the game today, but it's really the curling country powerhouses are changing. As you're seeing the strength of the Asian teams, the Pacific Asian region. You have all the teams, Japan, China, Korea, all above 500 records. Obviously, we're only 3 games in, but Japan at 2-1, China, Korea, both 3-0. Have to like where they are. Russia coming on and medaled in numerous worlds in the last few years, and are a team that you look at as potentially being in the playoff picture. Globally, the game is getting very strong.
Nakajima, that one just pulling up short. They were looking for that one right down on top of that yellow, corner frozen. Just not enough weight.
And as long as that information is relayed, that they do get off the sweep, so they don't tap it, leave the overlap with the guards, they chip off it a little bit, make play behind the corner even more difficult.
Have they made it past that top red? Have.
Great
That's a great
sweep.
Draw. Yeah.
That's where Japan wanted to be earlier in the end, was in the top of the 4-foot. So good end so far for Kuzmina. 2 great shots, great sweep there to hold that one.
Yeah, we'll take a look at sheet C. USA trailing Finland by 2. Jamie Sinclair with her last stone.
Has a chance here to tie the game up. She has shot stone and second shot in the back part of the rings. Just chip this one up a little bit into the 4-foot. And trying just to get a sliver of that one. And they'll get just enough of that one to push it in. So Jamie Sinclair gets 2 on the board for Team USA.
Japan did come around. Russia going after the guards now.
I don't think Japan hates the way it's all set up. You have those stones around the center. They could put a few guards up and maybe make a play later in the end.
Yeah, maybe just trying to run a few stones down here.
Yeah, I'll get it a little bit later in the end and then make your play. So they have a good angle with that one in the 8-foot. They set second shot.
Chiaki Matsumura just trying to get this one across the center line. Yeah, does a good job.
17.1
Что думаешь? Если мы будем снимать, мы уберем этот. С этой стороны тоже не особо. Как вариант вот так сыграть еще.
Я думала сначала, как мы сыграли, но там очень можно ошибиться.
Ну мы можем все навредить, да.
Может, пока попробуем снять гард, посмотрим, что она будет делать.
Как ты его хочешь снять?
Просто один. Пол камня.
Пол камня мы этот заденем, скорее всего.
Ну, можно тупее, чем пол камня.
Мне нравится тогда тупее уже.
Давай. Можно и с перевалом, если страшно.
А?
Можно и с перевалом снять, если страшно.
С перевалом это как?
Да.
Тогда мы можем что-нибудь здесь
Ну
снять.
давай просто потупее, надо попасть, чтобы корна не задеть. Да.
Problem is, Russia doesn't really have a lot of path to play in there to get their next shot. It's figuring out which one you would like to peel to try and open up a path. That guard they're looking to remove right now, they'd love to clip the one top of the 12-foot belonging to Japan. That's a tough stone to navigate around, and it's something Japan can use.
Yeah, Anastasia Brezgalova
Whoa, sweep! Да.
very close to this one. One just missed the one top of the 12-foot.
Still think you put another guard out in front. If you're Japan, that looks like the call. Playing that waiting game till later in the end.
Сейчас попробовать попасть уже. Один?
Да. Он хорошо стоит.
Что ж мне?
Воу.
Нет, Кать.
Не, поднять вообще нет. Вообще нет.
Didn't really do much there. I think you've got to move that red back onto the yellow with this one, Luke. Do you think?
There's just 4 stones remaining. You put one more guard. Does Russia come around? Put one more good guard out there. I think Russia might have to peel, and then you make the play on your last. No, you still have that stone top 12-foot. Could even come down that, looking to see if there's a port right down the center, but it looks like it's a little tight to throw the delicate weight you need to make that one.
I'll do block the hole at least, but do you take the double on? Top one, the top red looks as if it's going to spring to the yellow out by the corner.
I think if you make a nose hit on that one top of the rings, that guard not in the right place for Japan. You might get away with it over the top. It's close. Depends on how they do hit it.
Yeah, you've got to hit the second red thin to go underneath the back yellow. You hit it in the nose, it's just going to spring and lock.
I think you take that one on though, because It'll leave you room to try and get that extra point, or at least make sure you score.
Бьем дабл, надо чуть-чуть от стея попасть.
Чтобы он выше прошел?
Ага. Не, чтобы наоборот он ниже ушел, между ними.
А, чуть-чуть туда отстоял.
Да.
Kovaleva, 73% for the tournament.
Sweep! 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 Очень! Да!
Trying to make the double. I think they're a little narrow. And they stick it and roll in behind.
Dangerous position for Japan, though.
Absolutely, you don't make this run back perfect. You could give up 2 or 3 as we take a look at China versus Latvia.
China lying 2. Latvia looks like where the broom is, playing the hit to score a single point.
Wang Rei getting a little bit lucky with her last stone. Tight away, caught her own stone and thinned the Latvian stone out the side door, and then rolled the shooting stone in behind the corner. How's this one looking?
Just has to stop in the 8-foot. It does stop just in time back of the 8-foot, so a single point for Latvia. They lead China 3-2 through 4 ends of play. Nervous moments there for Latvia. Could be nervous moments for Japan, knowing that's a lonely red in the house.
決まるしか選択肢がない。こうなるのはいいけどさ、こうなった場合がちょっとないよね。
You play this at controlled weight, Luke?
I was just thinking a few different ways. You play it back, you throw control weight, try and kick the red one underneath. The other thought is if you wanted, it's a little cute and risky if you play it quiet and just trying to tap it back and leave both ears there, but you might set up a double for 4. Getting rid of that yellow one is probably your best bet. This 22-year-old fourth stone thrower for Japan. It's only been curling for 4 years.
That's pretty phenomenal, isn't it?
To get to a world championship, and they are playing it quieter. That splits it off. Is the double there? Can you push that one over the top?
It's certainly there for 3, Luke. Kovaleva certainly could throw the weight.
Yeah, and you hit and roll over, you can get your 2 that way. You could draw for 2 if you wanted.
I think that's what they're looking at. Just come up and rest against the yellow for the 2.
Be tempting to look at to try and bring those other ones into play. Well, that was part of the reason I thought we might see more weight from Japan, is throw it a little bit more weight, get rid of one of those yellow stones.
Контакт обязательно надо. Слушай, там достаточно прямо идет, я думаю, что нам этого хватит.
So 4th end, final stone. Russia not taking on the double for 3 or 4, just electing to play the draw.
Линия супер, внимательно, здесь лучше идет, внимательно. Надо до конца. Будет.
Light on her draw last end.
Внимательно. Внимательно. Легче.
Time looks pretty close here. It looks like it did stop just in time.
Он дальше?
Are they going to measure it? Just having a look at it. That's very close. I think it is the yellow. I'm going to take the measure out once more.
I think it was there for 2. It looks like it is 2 to me.
Я вам кричу всю дорогу, что здесь идет лучше, вес есть. Внимательно, внимательно. Зачем?
But Japan was playing that end patient, put up the guards, the missed guard. Kitazawa's first shot allowed the double by Russia and put the pressure on Japan's last.
Не знаю, они как-то прям на одном уровне стоят. Тут хорошо катит, я думаю, что это очень слабо будет.
Да, он шел слабо, видишь, он по широкой пошел, мы его, как бы он мимо пятака прошел, мы его хорошо втерли. Если бы он пошел валить, он бы был впритык. Мы-то были уверены, что контакт будет.
So here comes measure. Both thirds in there, just having a look to see who will be shot.
Busy for a second point.
It's clearly the yellow. It is going to be a score of 2. That one just pulls up in time. So going into the 5th end, it's Russia 4, Japan 2.
Я сзади иду, у меня уже там сердце чуть не выпрыгнуло, что это слабо. Что делать? Я просто думала, что мы делаем вес 4 фута. Какая разница, там типа есть контакт или нет? Нет, сделали контакт.
Сторона более-менее нормальная, не вонючая. Да, если взять, то...
О, нет. Пока вес нельзя. Совсем.
We are back and enjoying more curling here in Silkeborg, Denmark, for session 6 of the World Women's Curling Championships. Russia 4-2 ahead, look, and looking pretty good, aren't they?
They are. They took advantage of a couple little miscues late by Japan. Japan had been in good position for most of that end, but Russia finally used that all-important last stone to get the extra point. Had the choice whether to draw or play a possible double to bring 3 or 4 into play. They draw it. They score multiple points with the hammer and try and get the force now in this 5th end. Corner guard play. teams are on a 2-game day today. Japan looking, knowing they have Russia and Canada on the day. Probably, if we can split, it'd be a good day. Russia will play USA later today. So top 12, back 12 for Kuzmina. Curious to see how Russia plays if this come around is made. They put the center line guard up, or if they come into the house again.
Using this corner guard by coming around it, look. That one's well and truly buried. As we take a look at sheet C, and it's all tied between Finland and United States. Unakausta just going to throw this one away, I believe.
Yeah, Jamie Sinclair was able to get one in, facing 4 on her final shot. And got into live shot stone and getting a steal out of it. You can have all your reds surrounding it, but that one yellow right on the button counts for Jamie Sinclair to lead that game 3-2. I know we're just in Monday and early, just session 6, but U.S. coming in at 1 and 2. They're taking on the winless Finland team. Must win for them almost.
You've got to believe if they're looking and have aspirations of making the playoff, you've got to really be turning teams over like that. I think Finland will be in and around the bottom spots. Did qualify through the World's qualification tournament rather than getting a direct berth of merit.
Well, here in this game, Russia does put up that center line guard. Now it's tight to the other one. Actually, probably hit and roll off of it. If you're Japan, use that corner guard some more.
This one's narrow away, so they're sweeping this one to try and hold it straight. Makes the double.
Well, teams looking the 12-game round robin with 13 teams in the field. Last year was a 6-6 record that qualified for the playoffs.
Argentina just been asked for a draw round to the top of the forefoot. Just crossing the hog line. Is this one going to finish up? Just not got a curl enough to get fully buried. Maybe just covers the inside edge.
Real good effort. Sweepers really were going, knew they had to go for weight and to try and get it to finish and curl up behind. But can't really leave that stone top 12 foot.
Yeah, that's a stone that's going to cause you some trouble if you don't remove it.
Makes a hit. Will sit top of the 12-foot. It is Russia lying 1.
Yeah, it's very difficult now for Russia. Do they go after the red top of the 12? If they do, then Japan can swing on round. And that red that's in behind the corner does come into play then. Well, have they run it back onto the other yellow? They have.
It's away and losing that one. But now that a huge half shot by Russia. Japan's got a chance now to really set up a multiple point score.
Rather lucky not to leave that red hanging around.
Decision, do you try and leave that one? You come around it. Come around, it's not a long run back.
I think you've got to get around first look. Even if you sit showing half, 3/4.
Fully understand the risk and the worry of leaving that stone biting the top of the 12. But if you don't stick around, then you're giving a free run to go around that for Russia. Could see the draw to the wing they had talked about. Come right around that yellow stone.
They'll make the nose hit, but there's no real danger now for Russia. They can just use that red guard and come around it.
Russia didn't waste any time. Nose hit, we're coming right around.
Линия отличная, только вес. 8-6. Дай до конца. Вот, можно ниже. Давайте до конца, девочки, очень надо. Да. Давай,
Well, this is a nice draw, isn't it?
Look at that one just go. You saw how much room it had when it was getting to the hog line and how much it finished. Got the edge of it. So it's almost in that, call it a teaser position where do you go straight after it? Do you run the red?
And just hit and stay with this anywhere. Then Russia's got a question to ask themselves. Do they just peel one of the reds out and try and make a roll in behind?
Like if you can roll to the wing, Russia's almost forced. They have to hit the open one, try and make that roll. And if they don't, you're set up for your 2.
Going hard on this one. Have they got it past the top one? They have. Played it at a very cute weight, didn't they, Luke?
Yeah, they played that tighter than I thought they would. It's right to the nose. Now makes this trickier shot for Russia because it might be just biting top of the rings, and then I think Japan still goes around with skip stones.
And they're already talking about the split on the top red, which is good to see. They're thinking 2 or 3 shots ahead.
We're talking about a 4th stone thrower that is curled for 4 years. The skip is curled for 8 years.
Sweep! Sweep!
The knowledge they have about the game and the strategy is incredible. So that just bites top of the 12-foot.
距離があるね。こっち斜めにして自分の何倍先。相手や相手。ちょっとだけ。やるなら。あでもこの方見えちゃうとラブラあるから。芯で押す。どこら辺まで押す？ここら辺でいい。ちょっとこっち側に相手これ押せないように。T ウェイトでいい。T 早い。T だよね。
Yeah, the only danger of playing the tap back look is if they roll off and leave a guard double checked, there's no run back there.
Yeah, if you could tap this on the nose, maybe just a hair on the high side with the proper weight. Let's sit real nice. We'll set 1, 2. Russia maybe forced into going around everything.
This one looks as if it's on the yellow right now, Luke. Well.
Huge mistake and miss.
Yeah, big missed opportunity.
少しリリースがいつもより強いかって感じ。
We're sitting real good to have a chance at 2.
Ну, у него вот стоит, нет. Что,
Ну,
два в
если
доме?
что, даже не давал небольшой сделаем.
Да. Да, мне нравится, даже если что не давал, у нее туда останется с потерей шутера только. Ну, сначала делаем перевал, да?
So shot stone right now for Russia.
Перевал, если не пойдет, то шире.
It's been a couple of lapses late in these ends. That last end allowed for the 2 to be set up by Russia.
Делаем тэп.
First end allowed Russia to get that split for 2.
Наоборот, чуть-чуть в перевал, да. Чтобы занутриться, если уже не будет идти, то сделаем просто медовал. Ну да, где-то 4 за, наверное. Там уже вроде подраскаталось более-менее.
Да.
Катя! Да,
This one's sitting a little high as well, Luke.
Галя!
Don't want to leave a double.
Just like that.
The double's there, but you've got to get very cute with that. High red.
Блин, чуть не довалил.
Sometimes you play those taps, you overthrow. You think you got to throw more weight, and that one almost back 12 backline weight and move that stone that far.
Just a hair outside nose for 2.
Sometimes with a younger player, you'll tend to overthrow these. You don't have to throw big way. You got to throw enough to move them out. Being precise with the broom, more important right now.
The final stone of the fifth end. Kirizawa looking for two. Have they made it? 1, 2. Is it going to roll out the 8 foot? Have they done enough? Not quite. Another inch, they would have picked up 2 possibly. Just underswept it. So it's a steal of 1 for Russia. Russia can count themselves very lucky in the fifth end. So as they head into the break, it's Russia 5, Japan 2. Just take a look at this once more. It's very tight to that guard. Just needed to catch a hair less of that second yellow. The yellow hangs around in the 12 foot. There is the scoreline, Japan 2, Russia 5. First end of the matchup between Russia and Japan. Alina Kovaleva playing the split, makes it absolutely perfect. They would pick up 2 after a measure. Second end. Russia sitting 2. And Kirizawa draws the 8 foot for a single point. Fourth end. Russia already sitting 1 in the button. And a chance to draw for a second. Refused to take on the shot for a 4. But drew this one right on to the side of the 4 foot. And again, after a measure, it was a score of 2 and a 4-2 lead. But at the break, it's Japan 2, Russia 5. Elsewhere in session 6, China trailing Latvia by 1 point, 2 shots to 3. And Finland also trailing United States by 2 shots to 3 over on sheet C.
何よりもトップじゃないからウェイトがね今のにだからやっぱ当て方9秒でねやったじゃん当て方大事だからまあでもそんなに作れてるしね形は作れてるからとりあえず2点、取って1点差になればまた面白くなる、あれ行く
Ой, я хочу сегодня рассказывать ничего. Хотел не дарить. А у нас нет.
So there's the stats. Pretty even affair between both sides. But it's Russia who have a 5-2 advantage after 5 ends. Just slightly ahead on the percentages on draws and hits, and all even on the stolen points. back with the action here from Silkeborg in session 6 of the LGT Women's World Championship. Russia leading 5-2 over Japan. Katarina Kuzmina, 81% for the tournament, 75 in this game. Some good numbers from the lead player. Throwing this one back at the forefoot.
You see that so many times coming out of the fifth end break. They run the mops up and down, the time off. It will speed up just a hair. Something a lot of teams always talk about. I'm sure the coaches will reiterate as well. Remember, it does speed up after that fifth end break.
Ishiguka, the lead player for Japan, 93% in this game, having a really good game. Solid performance from the lead player. As I said before, though, the body language of Japan hasn't really changed from the first end, has it, Luke?
No, they're stayed pretty consistent throughout the game. They get a whole lot of change. They're going to go out there. Yeah, they missed a shot, gave up a steal when they had a chance for two. Talk about it. And Skip say, you got to have a short memory for the good and the bad. You can't hold on to those good shots too long in your head, and you got to forget the bad ones.
Trailing by 3. What do you expect Japan to do in the last 5? Luke?
It's all about just trying to stay and get your 2 right now. We'll see if they can generate that. Here's a mistake. Look like trying to put up the second corner guard and it slides into the house. Russia will try and keep it a simpler game, I'm sure, with a 3-point lead. But Japan has to know that they have played fairly well. They've been in a position to get some forces and some multiple points. Let's slide over on sheet A, China and Latvia. Latvia does have one side of the button, but possibility get to that one, biter in the back, 3, maybe 4 if you can get this one out.
Yeah, possibly. I think China should be able to see most of this stone.
China coming in tied with the Koreans at 3-0 atop the leaderboard.
And this one is to curl. Makes contact, rolls out of play, and I think it's going to be a score of 2, possibly 3.
Just got to see if it is in the rings or not.
Yeah, they're going to kick that one away, so I think it was a score of 3. So China leading that one 5-3 after 6. Argentina 84 for the tournament, 89 in this game. Well, squeaks that one past the back yellows. Done really well to hold that stone in play.
We have seen that this week. Day 3. Sweeping can hold a stone. You're able to manipulate it. You can sweep, get some curl. You can hold the line. Get a good taste for how Japan likes to play, needing to score a deuce. Are you comfortable throwing against 3, 4 if you're not able to set things up?
on this from Japan.
Try to roll it over, get something hidden.
Sticks in the 12-foot, but no real danger.
I think the one that's might hurt you is the corner guard.
Yeah, let's take a look at the matchup between Finland and United States. United States somewhat surprisingly ahead of Finland. Struggled in this matchup, but find themselves ahead in the 6th end. Una Kausta with the last stone. Looks like a draw for 2.
Yeah, it was Sinclair trying to play a freeze on her last. Has to draw the 4-foot. Just overthrew that one, and it's going to be just a single point.
Yeah, that's a big mistake from the skip. Has had their chances in this matchup. The game all tied at 3-3 after 6.
That game could have turned very differently if Sinclair wasn't able to make a little chip and roll into the 4-foot in the 4th end. Could have been 3-4, maybe even 5 for Finland. Ended up being a steal of 1.
Well, slight mistake from Russia. Went to peel the corner guard. Like you say, that was the only danger stone for them.
Peel it. Tap it back. You can freeze it. You can even hit and roll away. Try and get 2 is what Japan's looking for in this end. We saw 65% on the game for Matsumura. It's been the mistakes on the back end by the Japanese side that lost them some ends.
Well, set 1 and 3. Lots of rotation on this one. Make contact and bounce out. So there's your chance, Luke.
Yeah, now the decision for Japan is, do you try and freeze to it? If you bounce off, there might be a double. Just draw to the other side right now, but you want to bring your other one into play.
I think there's an opportunity to bring your other one into play. You've got to take it now. You draw the other side, you could be forced.
Like a little, try and hit and roll to the center line. Yeah, I like this. A little bit of indecision, but finally I think a smart play here to make that short roll.
Well, on the swooping right from the get-go. Again, not a lot of weight.
Ishiguka will hit.
Rolls underneath and puts them very close together. There is that red that was ticked across by Russia. That might come into play, the one that's just short of the scoring area.
Well, Kovaleva didn't waste any time putting that broom down. She saw that one roll over. There's no one. All right, let's make this. I got a chance to get our team out of it.
Nice. Чуть побольше. Внимание, свит!
70% for Kovaleva. Oh, and this one hard. Have they held it, look. 1-2, there they go.
Good sweep there. Arsenkina and Kumina to hold that one, make that double. A little demoralizing for the Japanese side, knowing that had their chance. And again, slides away.
Да.
Not electing to play the freeze, just electing to play the takeout. Kitazawa only at 53%. Again, with playing that lightweight, it's just allowing the stones to curl. That one's going to roll out of play.
Russia tried to use that stone they chipped over earlier, just maybe find a way to get a cheap force out of it.
Пока подождем. Галя, только Галя. Много веса. Окей. Вылет, да?
Goes backed up off of this one. They believe there's enough weight in it.
These draws are so difficult because it's a different path, one you haven't really thrown a lot, and you're trying to go to such a small spot of the house, it's going to throw through.
Yeah.
Japan will try and get things set up in the next.
Yeah, so this one's just going to be thrown through the final stone of the sixth. Kitazawa not wanting to score a single point in this sixth end. So as we head into the seventh, it's Russia 5, Japan 2.
Да, хорошо, 4 фута надо.
Back inside the arena. Russia 5-2 ahead of Japan in this round-robin matchup. Russia somewhat in control, aren't they, Luke?
Yeah, they seem to be more confident, just a little more decisive. Japan, not sure, sometimes maybe it's a little bit of the inexperience. And should we play this? Should we play that? Still making some shots, but missing some the wrong way. We saw Matsumura roll the opposite way they wanted to. Left the double for Kovaleva. End over. Not able to set it up. Now, again, Japan has to just work on getting a deuce. It's only a 3-point game.
Yeah, so Russia doing the right thing by throwing this one top of the 4, playing the scoreboard. Japan throwing the corner guard, as you generally would if you're chasing the game, trying to look for some cover.
Trying to get it to the center, and they actually use that corner guard. Works out not bad because it splits it off, so there's no corner guard in that position. We look, all the scores 5-3, China leading Latvia in 7, or 5-2 in the 7th end, Russia leading, and 3-3 Finland, USA on sheet C. Well, because of the 5-stone free guard zone rule, no. Either those 2 reds can be removed by Russia. They'll put the center line guard up, force Japan to make some shots and really set things up. That one goes into the rings. Another one they can try and roll off, so a bit of a mistake. Arsenkina deeper than she wanted it to be. Get a little bit of a rub off that top one. Sit top 12 foot. Get a pretty good result even though they don't roll behind the corner. They sit in front, it's a tough one to remove. Well, those corner guards, the dangerous one, especially that one where it was positioned for Japan. So this is the situation Japan's going to try and generate the offense with. just, again, Japan had something and an opportunity. They can't make the shot when they need it. Splits those around, and they're both biters in the back of the 12-foot.
Думаю, следующий, мне кажется, тот нет. Мне кажется, там просвет, нет?
Две? Да.
A little fortunate they do
Что там,
stick
валило,
around
да?
because now got to play a hit on one of them.
Ближе к нему делал, ну такой.
Here they're trying to tap it onto that yellow.
Внимание.
Bryce Galova needs to hang around with this though. Can't afford to roll out of play.
До конца. Катя!
Well, the shot worked out on the last for Japan, but it wasn't how they were trying to make the shots. Get a little fortunate there. Now you got to make some shots. Try and generate your two with the hammer. Try and hit roll off that top one, get away from the other side. Maybe get a mistake in the jam by Russia.
Yeah, just hit and stay would be the call. Hits, rolls.
Very nice.
That's a really nice shot.
Real good spot because the jam on that back one is a definite possibility.
Но она просто...
Полкамня. Сильно? Да. Просто ролл не нравится, да? Хочешь, можно просто ролл. Просто... Да, давай. Да, если что, они повезут.
Well, maybe just squared that one back on the center, look. This one running very straight.
You hear the term inside out. Slide a little bit narrower the broom, and then you set it back to get it back to the broom. And it's going to track out a bit on the way down. Hung out. And there's a mistake Japan needed.
Skipping over to sheet A. China 5-3 ahead of Latvia.
It's very close. Looks like it is. There's definitely one in the back for China. Possibly two in the top of the 8-foot. Look, it looks like just a straight draw for Latvia. Iveta Stasa Sasune.
Certainly played some weight at this. Could get lucky by tapping the front yellow up. Through the port.
Yeah, it's just once they're through there, as long as it has the line of the backing, they're going to be good. And doesn't need it, goes right back 4-foot, but just a single point.
Yeah, after 7 ends, China 5, Latvia 4.
Не-не-не. Ничего.
Yeah, so Japan with a good chance of making 2. I'd like to see them just play a little bit more weight and take the curl out of this take out.
They've had some where it over curled on them. They have that biter. They need to try and make it count here. It has always had a couple of half shots. You need the full shots now to try and generate your 2 points.
Going hard on this one, trying to hold it. Looks good though. Nice shot, no double there. All Russia have is the hit and roll underneath.
Notice just the difference that Russia's very much decide, okay, we know what we're going to play. We got the room. Obviously here you're playing the hit and roll. There's not a lot of decision, but Japan was waffling. Do we play the freeze? Do we play the hit? And experience there is something that's important to look at. How you generate your two. Do we hit now? Do we play that roll?
Yeah, both teams with plenty of time on the clock.
Нет, самого конца нет.
Makes the nose, a little roll to the center. So an opportunity for Japan to get right back in this with a nose hit for two.
And again, same type of shot. Ikue Kitazawa played on her first. Nice clean throw, let her sweepers control the rock.
This is the final stone of the seventh. Not too much excitement, so believe this one to be pretty good. Nicely made by the skip, and it will be a score of 2 for Japan in the seventh. They narrow the gap to 1. It's Japan 4, Russia 5 as we head into the 8th end.
10点がナイス。センターガード2つ置く？1つ置いたらなんか相手コーナーガード置いてくるかな。
Потом почистим все и заберем.
Больше можем стоять поболтать. Полторы.
There is the scoreboard in the 8th end. Japan 4, Russia 5. Russia with last stone advantage. 8th end, very important end.
Russia will play an end where they want to make sure they score. Treat it almost like a 10th end. You just don't give up a steal. Score one here, your percentage chance of winning this game go up. Japan's going to try and get these guards in good position. Maybe even a double center line guard. We'll see how hard they go at trying to steal. So it's 2 hammers to 1 for Russia at this point, and a 1-point lead. Here we'll compare the numbers of leads. Advantage Ishiguka 88 to 77 for Kuzmina.
And this one slipping rather deep from Russia. So that's opens the door ever so slightly for Japan.
Yeah, here this just is the inexperience showing a bit for Japan. You either play the straight come around top forefoot or you throw another center. Don't need to go to that back one. It's helping you where it's at.
Line looks good in this one, look. Just like that one, another 2 or 3 feet deeper into that scoring area.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're quite giving quite enough ice to get out there, because if that goes where you want, it's probably going to be out the other side, top of the forefoot. That's another pair for Kuzmina she'd like to have back. She's struggled in this game and at times.
You've got to go around the left-hand side as we look at overhead into the forefoot now, haven't you, Luke?
Yeah, use your guard, because if you come around the yellow, they can run theirs back. And it's a lot easier running your own stone if you're Russia than that red one.
Yeah, but they're elected to come around the yellow.
If you can overbury this one. Factor is they have played this turn a few more times is maybe the reasoning behind playing the in turn. Sina Nakajima.
See the timer on this one. We have been looking around 14.5 to tee. Has it got the weight? 14.7, just pulling up short of the tee line. That's what you would expect to see.
Yeah, the time was staying pretty consistent throughout this game so far. And that's all the players want. They want a consistent time. They're just a little bit short. And by playing that turn now, they can run the yellow one in. And you can actually hit. You can roll in, you can make the double. A few different ways you can make this if you're Russia. And
yeah, they've not even looked at the double on the reds, Luke. Are you surprised at that?
Through the hole?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just playing the run back and just make it that way.
Yeah. No need to make the double through
We'll
the
just
hole.
make the run double. They did look at the double, but it was through the guard.
Yeah, really nice run double. Took it the more difficult way, let's say.
Doesn't matter as long as you make the shot.
Well, make the tap on the yellow. It doesn't roll in behind the corner. You see the stats. Nakajima at 73, Arsenkina at 91.
Слушай, не знаю, мне кажется, сейчас везде более-менее ровно.
Well, that's what Arsenkina expected to put up. Very strong player at that second position, especially with her hit game. Saw that last year. She was a member of the bronze medal winning team for Russia. It's a tough spot for Japan. Can't afford to really give up two at this stage of the game. Need to make one of these hit and rolls.
Are they going to catch enough of this one, Luke?
Playing it really quiet. And will roll right out of the rings.
So I don't know whether they're not taking enough ice or they're just dropping the weight a little bit too much, Luke. It's a view from the bench.
They have been trying to keep the temperature down in the building. I've seen some of them mentioning a little bit colder rate on that player's bench. I kind of like the peels. That one could hurt you if you come in behind, you go deep, get you in some trouble. Although you are in a position to try and get a deuce.
There are the numbers at third. Matsumura just slightly behind Brezgalova. That is not where you want to hit that one.
Playing that, you need to make sure you lose your shooter also. We've seen a bunch of hits that you mentioned about. The broom hasn't matched the weight that Japan is throwing on all these hits.
Yeah.
This one a lot better. Good solid weight on it.
Right onto the nose. Yeah. Nice clean throw.
I think for Japan, blank in this end isn't awful. You take one of the hammers away from Russia. So I thought Russia may even think of coming around. I didn't mind the peel. We see teams try to have a plan of attack, what your goal is, and of course at times you have to change that based on the execution. Chance to hit and roll.
Absolutely, there's potentially a chance to force now.
Yeah, roll into that spot is probably one of the worst that Russia could have gone to.
Swing hanging a little high.
We've seen times you get on that center line, it can really hang on you and take its time to start to make that move. I feel like they got caught in that spot. And that's been a case of that throughout the game. Broom for the weight has not been in the right spot. Comparison of the fourth stone throwers. Kovaleva 70 to 60 for Kitazawa. And the difference, Kovaleva's made the shots when needed, even though their numbers aren't spectacular, but it's the shots she's made and the misses that Kitazawa has had.
So let's take a look at China, Latvia. China 5-4 ahead. Facing two.
I'm thinking it's going to be just a hit, take your one for Wangre. Good battle over here on sheet A. Trying to get this one to curl and stick around. It's going to roll away. Yeah, it will tie things up over there on sheet A. 5-5 now. That steal, China and Latvia, 2 ends remaining. Latvia took the Canadian side down to the wire last night in their game.
сказали, что слабо будет сразу в зале.
Yeah, nice draw from Kovaleva, right in behind that guard. Kitazawa hitting and rolling. Opened the door. Needs a good one here. Line looking a little high.
And on the numbers, the draws were not a strength in the game for Kitazawa. And this will be another mistake. Overthrowing it and right through. Just costly errors you can't have.
Yeah, open draw for two.
It was a tough freeze, but at least if you make it somewhat close, you're forcing the shot to be a little more difficult to a more precise spot for Kovaleva.
Хороший вес. Полегче, легче, легче.
So rock clock on this one. Looking for about 14 and a half. It's 13 and a half, so expect this one to be right back in the back 12. Is it going to hang around?
We'll see. Nakajima's going to try and take it out, but it does hold up back of the 12-foot for Russia.
And you move on to a 7-4 lead after 8 ends over Japan.
Давайте хорошо привести и поаккуратнее почиститься.
Ninth end of the matchup between Japan and Russia. Russia ahead, 7-4. And do you think that was the call, Luke, to throw this one through?
Didn't see the initial indication that it was to throw through, but normally you're going to throw it through, you're going to make sure it gets through quite easily. I think a mistake there. It's just a 3-point game. I don't think you throw that one through in a 3-point game.
Yeah, I think you've got to go top of the 4-foot and control that 4-foot area.
It's a disappointing finish to that Japanese game, or Japanese end, pardon me. The last one. Had anywhere short, you can freeze to it. Left the opening. Speaking of finish, we'll get over to the Finland-USA game, 3-3. So James Sinclair facing 2. In a real battle over there with the winless Finland squad.
Yeah, possibility of a thin double for two. This one looks as if it's curling really hard. Hits one, hits a second, spins over the top. That yellow back of the 8 foot will count as a single point for the US as they score one in the 8th. It's United States 4, Finland 3.
Good throw, Jane.
Yeah, it's really good that we scored there.
Yeah.
Well, in the second one, Kuzmina able to put it top of the 4 foot where they wanted to. Japan's going to try and get the 2 corner guards out in front. They have to score a 2 now. Give themselves a good chance in this game. Try and get a 2. Possibility of 3 if you get a miss, and then go into 10.
So 2 corner guards for Japan. What can we do with the stones out front? This is where we've seen in the past second players being able to remove the corner guards, but for the season 5 rock rule, they can't.
I still get caught sometimes thinking, all right, we'll go up and you'll peel the guard right now. Now you're getting that center line guard. This one comes into the rings, so Russia will lie to. Looks like trying to hit and roll off that top one. I thought you might just play the straight, come around with the in-turn. Try and get one buried behind your guard. Well, the hit will stick right in front. Now the guards can go, and Russia's going to try and bring all the play into the house if they can. And Arsenkina has played very well in this game. 92% on the match.
Great numbers from her. Is it too early to go after that Yellowstone look?
I think it's almost tempting to still try and use that corner guard. Problem sometimes you think about that and you want to go after it too early in an end. Looks like they're trying to split that top one, open up the yellow, push it behind the corner.
That works. That really works.
That's a really well played shot. Just chips it over. Nakajima just quietly plays a little split, moves around.
Well, hits and rolls for third shot, so that red in behind the corner guard now comes into play. You could ever just swing one right in behind. or make the hit and roll.
It's tempting to play to go after the yellow, but again, it's make that patient play. Here they're going to freeze to it. Chiaki Matsumura. Across it hair. You'd rather be across the face of it if you're going to play the freeze, because then it'll take away and use that yellow as some backing. But playing the hit on it, they changed their plan. And needed to get some sort of movement. Now, pretty natural double to get both of those reds out. And where you'll sit with the shooter now for Russia, chokes off play behind that corner guard.
Make the double and sit two. Can they make the hit and roll underneath the yellow?
Hoping it spins back at the end, and real good effort to try and roll across. So they have second and third shot.
Russia have got to be pretty careful with this one. They can't afford to roll out of play.
Or play it tight and just touch that guard.
Yeah.
Nothing all the way down, trying to hold the shooter. Get it right on the nose, but it's third shot.
Yeah, third shot. You've got to think of. Japan could get around it. I don't think they need to play a hit in it.
No, the only worry with that is to play the hit is they could come off of it. But if you want to get behind the corner guard, the easiest way is with the draw.
So looking for around 14.5 seconds between the two hog lines.
So we've seen it's been pretty close. Kue Kitazawa.
swooping. Have they done enough to get it past the guard? It's getting very tight, and they've caught it. And they've not even spun down in for third shot. You've got to think that's the opportunity gone now for Japan to score at least 2 in this 9th end.
Yeah, this red stone's removed. There's no doubles on those yellows. We're forced to take a single point and try their hand to try and steal 2 in the 10th end just to force an extra end. Kovaleva not wasting any time. She's very decisive of late. Down the hack, ready to go.
Sweep! Sweep! Sweep!
Have they made it past the top yellow? They have. Just pick it clean. Do you go after the split?
I think at this point it might be worth it. Scoring 2. Play it a little conservative, that if you miss it, you're going to make sure you get your 1. What do you got? I think you throw back 8 foot weight, back 12.
Yeah, back 12, I think, because you've got to move it quite a piece. You know, you're looking to catch this around quarter stone, maybe. Remember, you're pushing it away from the 8 foot coming into it this way.
Well, we saw a great split in the first end. That was the first 2 points by Russia.
So final stone for Japan in this 9th. Looking for 2. This one looks a little tight to me, look.
She's been fighting her draw weight and all game long needs to make a delicate, precise shot.
Have they pushed it too far? Just pushes it too far, and it's going to be a steal of 1 to Russia. And the gap extended to 4. So it's now Japan 4, Russia 8, and there is the handshake. Enough is enough for Japan. Well, after 9 ends, it's Russia picking up another win. Very entertaining matchup between these two sides. Japan dropped to 2-2. Russia 3-1. Still early days. Only session 6 here at the World Championships. Russia delighted to pick up another win.
Все, отдыхать.
Это поцелуй отправлял в камеру. Да.
Кому?
Пришлось грязно целовать. Антисанитария сплошная.
Главное, чтобы док не видел.
Да. Мы сегодня с Настей еще, проворачивали страшную операцию во время игры.
Кое-какую.
Я поняла, какую.
Нет. Нет, хуже.
So we're going to head over to Sheet A, China versus Latvia. All square in the 10th end. 5-5. And it is China who will have last stone advantage in this 10th end.
My goal is. No? Mattam klāt.
Viņš ir aiztī!
Ok.
Sastā, septītā!
Jā.
Septītā bez atsitiena, nedrīkst atsisties.
Liva Krusta, second player for Latvia, in the hack, has a chance to freeze that redstone back of the button. Double guard on for Latvia.
Kurā?
Latvia
Sastā.
stealing in
Septīto,
eighth end,
tikai septīto.
also stealing in the
Tikai
fourth.
septīto. Līnija laba, jā, spēkam.
So the odds stacked in their favour. They have created chances.
Spēkam! Spēkam! Rīktīgi, vēl!
Trying to work this one right down into the house.
Vēl!
It's a little bit short for weight though. Into the top of the 8 foot. All them Yellowstones lined up.
吃这个。
看有没有3个。
不行，这一串太相关太重了。
Huang
直
Wei
接按俩
skip
来
for
吧。
China, just asking for some assistance
那俩来吧，一
from
个也行。
the rest of the team.
就一个打一个就行。
Just not sure
听外
what to
角
call.
啊？
听外角。
The double peel on the two yellows would be
这边也行吧？
the way to go.
打这色。
是打内侧。
想打哪边？
Yeo Mingyi. A little bit unsteady out the hack. A little bit of excitement about this one.
Okay.
Just peels the single. Krusta. 83 on her draws, 75 on her hits. Steady game from the second player. Pushed Canada very close yesterday evening. Having to go for weight on this one. Need it past that top yellow. Don't want to really remove that red back of the forward. Want to leave it there as some backing. Just needed to have that one sitting on top of the red. Just peels the single guard again. Latvia just going to throw up another guard and hope for a chance to get around that top yellow later on in the game.
Yeah.
Still got to favour China. They do have last stone advantage.
Minimal pavadīts. Tīra. Tīra.
Santa Bloomberga.
Otro.
Asks for a guard.
Neko.
This one looks a little long. So let's take a look at Una Kausta versus Jamie Sinclair of the United States. Una Kausta of Finland. Nose hit to tie the game. Looks as if there should be enough room to get through here for a single point. Swooping this one. And catches the guard, slips through, and it's a steal of 2 for United States. The US really riding their luck in this game against Finland. Una Kausta missing some simple shots. As they head into the 10th end, it's USA 6, Finland 3.
Okay. Nezinu. Sargs, davai, saņemies. Nav pavadīts, nav pavadīts.
So Bloomberg just though the longer guard this time, put them too close together. That allowed China to peel the double.
Trešo. Ok, labi.
Yeah, it's tough losing those centerline guards. Really tough to steal without them in play.
Looking for a taker on this guard. So it looks tight, Luke. Have they done enough to roll away? Oh, just squeezes out the side door.
They also almost got lucky and clipped that back one. But far enough away that still have both turns to get to the forefoot if needed.
Es nezinu, ja es piefrīzēšu klāt. Man liekas, ka tur ir dubultais. Ja mēs time-outu paņemam? Jā? Jā, ok. Jo, ja es pielikšu klāt, nu, man ir baigi forši jāpieliek. Viņi jau tāpat sitīs.
Domā te? Ja mēs atstāsim te, viņi izcels, mums
Viņa abus izcels, jā. Jautājums ir, vai frīzēt, vai likt tomēr sargu.
Jā, sargs nozīmē to, ka viņa saraiz, viņa vairs pirmā saiz.
Viņas neies.
Bet es esmu pārliecināts, ka neiet, ka labāk liekat sargu.
Jo reāli, ja mēs pieliekam slikti klāt, viņas izšķaidīs, viss mums vairs nebūs, kur slēpties.
Pēdējais metiens ir, ne, viņas tā nemaz nevar izšķaidīt. Pēdējais metiens ir tāds top 2. Top 2 tāds, bet tas ir pēdējais metiens. Viņš tas karas baltēs.
Nu šitā.
Viņš vai nu džemos tanē vai tanē, viss būs ok.
Jā.
Normāli labāk.
Bet tuvo sargu. Ja mēs pārāk tuvu pielicis, varbūt tu vēl dubultais viņām sanāks.
Pielicis pārāk tuvu, viņa izcels no zelta, no slēgt.
Jā.
Protams, būs mazie trāpīgi sarkani, tie zelta reizes.
Tāda otrā, trešā?
Otrā, trešā, jā.
Bišķiņ tālāk varbūt.
Lai viņam...
Jā. Nē, čuču platāk, vai viņš vairāk uz centra līnijas paliek?
Bet tev jau palika.
Jā? Okay,
Nepalika?
Jā.
Jā. Cik vajag? Nulle, jā? Pastumu.
Līnija laba.
Pastumu. Nē, nevajag.
Evelīna.
Nevajag, nē.
Evelīna.
Nē.
Beržam. Cik tālu var? Beržam. Tā ir pirmā. Beržam. Ok.
那个站位很高，应该是不碍事儿。如果他一会儿下一个往这粘的话，王蕊就得是一个打定。我觉得这儿是不是可能更好一点？
这球不用旋，把球全露出来都可以。
这边
往6区这边。
我觉得这边
对，顺着往6区顶上一投就行，千万别停6区就行。你这边不往上，你可以传磕就得了，明白吗？啊，这就没有必要，你就是投到6区，不用旋。
我感觉5区6区那块好一点。
对，但是你就贴上6区边就行，你不用太深，你就全球6区也行，就别深就行。
对，
你把头子上去，不用旋死，
稍微露出来一2/3。
全露出来都 OK，就行，不怕打。
行，
行吗
？OK。
你这会儿全露出来，你还可传。
行，这个点，这块儿我给小麻那是白边的点，大麻投到这儿了。中线，我觉得可以给你这个点就 OK 了吧？行，你哪个点投的行？我刚才是这个，那我就这个点。对，行吧，一点点就可以。时间还有多少？够了，好几分钟呢。还有4分钟呢。那够了。行，我还是按区投。别擦，别着急擦。线路看就是力量，可以等线。前区，抓到这儿啊！线路非常好，就是力量。一定。自然停吧。不行不行不行。没事没事，停一点。自然停啊。OK。13秒9。我感觉有点大。
Mēs pat varam, ja mēs viņam ienākam pierē, ierokējam tagad pierē. Pierē bišķi ideāli mēs apstājamies šeit, ideāli šeit. Šitā. Man tā liekas.
Šitā te mēs rādījām, tā, ka te diezgan plata tā mala. Un pašas beigas tikai iekrita.
Okay.
Domāju, šitā te.
Jā, mums ir jābūt
sargā
pīlēnam.
neieskries.
Ok.
Šitā.
Ok.
Tu Evelīna jau tādu arī, vai kas tur meta to tīšu?
Jā.
Te jāuzliek piere. Jā. Vienkārši jāpieliek klāt, ideāli bišķiņ iekšmaliņu. Astoņas 5? Te beigas iekrīt. Ļoti.
Platāks. Septīto. Septīto līnijai. Whoa.
89% on her draws in the game.
Have they got it past this top red? Ask the question, that's all I've got to do. It's past the top red. It's down, and it's held in there on the button.
Little roll, which actually makes that tap a little trickier because it's closer to nose that you have to hit. But they can play it just as a little tap.
It's pretty hard to miss this though, isn't it?
Would be surprised if we saw her miss this shot. Got to come down. Guard's not really a factor. Only have to move it a rock width.
Viņš bija 13-9.
How's this one looking? Line looks okay at the moment.
And just a light clean. Just have to tap it a little bit. Got to get the right line. And they will tap it enough.
Thank you.
Yeah, a single point for China. They pick up the win in the 10th end. 6-5 winners over Latvia.
Mēs esam ļoti tuvu, ļoti tuvu.
So China topping the table so far. Latvia running most of these teams very close. And it won't be long till we see them get on the board.
Yeah, they played a very strong game there. That was a couple of good battles for Latvia. But China, a team that qualified for that world qualification event. And the other team out of that, Finland, still looking for their first win as they drop that one. 6-3, the U.S. defeats Finland. Another come from behind win for Team USA. They haven't got off to some good starts this week.
Seventh end, and Japan already sitting one out wide. A nose hit for two. Kirizawa makes the shot, stays around. The score 5-4 in Russia's favor. Eighth end now. Open draw for Kovaleva. Just needs to hit the paint. And this one just pulled up in time in the back ring as they were 7-4 ahead. Ninth end. Kizawa trying to make a split off her own red. Doesn't make it. The red slips through. And it was a steal of one, and that was enough for the young Japanese side. Russia running out 8-4 winners. There you see the other games in session 6. A 6-5 win for China over Latvia. Our future game, Japan 4. Russia 8, and Finland 3, United States 6. Here are the standings. China sitting on their own there at 4-0. Korea, Russia, Sweden with 3 wins. Then it's Canada, Germany, Japan, and USA with 2 wins. Scotland, Switzerland with single wins each. Denmark, Finland, and Latvia all at the bottom of the table.
Congratulations. How important was it picking up a win after your loss yesterday?
Поздравляем. Как важно было для вас сегодня победить после вчерашнего поражения?
Спасибо. Для нас это было очень важно. Я думаю, что любой команде после поражения хочется немножко реабилитироваться, можно так сказать, и следующую игру победить.
Thank you. It was very important for us, like for every team after the loss. We just want to be back on track after the loss, and it was good for us.
And it looks like you guys are having lots of fun, relaxed, enjoying your experience. How do you feel your team's playing?
Выглядело, что вы расслаблены, веселитесь и получаете удовольствие. Что вы чувствуете по поводу игры?
Да, могу сказать, что мы сегодня не с супер настроем выходили все на такие улыбчивые, с хорошим настроением, и мне кажется, очень важно поддерживать такую атмосферу в команде. Я думаю, что это сыграло свою роль.
Yes, we were quite happy in the morning and smiling a lot with a positive mood, and she thinks it worked for us and made a good result.
Congratulations, best of luck.
Поздравляем, удачи.
Thank you.
So that was winning skip Annalena Kovaleva of Russia. They were 8-4 winners over Japan. So that's it from session 6 here in Silkeborg, Denmark. So from Luke and myself, Kenny, thanks for listening.